So this is the fifth episode of I Assure You We're Broken. We still spirits.
Yeah, we did.
As far as I know, we just hanging out. And
yeah, you wouldn't believe how hard it is to not be dead once you're dead.
Yeah, but we found a car. And now we just haunt in this car, dog, I guess. That's kind of what we're doing, huh?
It's like a fucking ghost car, but I'm not sure on the...
Is it a dragula?
I don't get it.
You know what's awesome about Rob Zombie?
Oh, Rob Zombie. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Is, well, technically Dragula is the Munsters car. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
The Dragula is what the Munsters call their family car.
Funny, I did know that, but isn't it the wrong kind of car in the music video?
Well, yeah, it's not the same. He has like a Model T.
Yeah, because the song, I was watching like a Rob Zombie interview about how, like, you know, he's kind of been really big on his creative control, and so as far as like the first music videos, I think like he'd be like, yeah, so I want to call the song this. And they suggested a different name, you know, like a more, you know, probably a catchier name. And he's like, okay, well, whatever. We can get this person to direct the video. And he's like, no, I want to direct the video. And they're just like, God, do you just not want us to be able to market this at all? So he's like, yeah, Dragula is actually about the Munsters car. He's like, but the car in the music video is a different car. And that's about all I remember that conversation. But
I just remember that I think he was doing an interview with Joe Rogan, and he was saying that, like, so he is a New York musician. Did you know that about him?
No, off the top of my head, no.
He got famous in the New York music scene. And the way that he tells it to Joe Rogan is like similar to what you said, so it follows. Is that he just had this like obsession with like making sure that every single aspect of the songs were what he wanted, and he insisted that the drummer do these like weird what did he call them? I think they're just a certain type of like African tribal beat.
Yeah.
But they have like a pop feel to them. So it's like these drums that he's retooled from African tribal beats that already have a pop feel into like a heavy metal rock song. I wouldn't even necessarily call Rob Zombie heavy metal. I don't know what he is. He's like heavy electronica, metal. It's like slasher, sci-fi, horror, punk. He's just got, like, you could almost tag him with anything. And it's funny because my YouTube music playlist, like if I just let it play random, it always leads back to Rob Zombie Dragula.
Yeah, I think you could just classify him as rock, maybe hard rock. I wouldn't put him in metal, although
I would, based on his guitarist, because his guitarist is songs you can. Well, I know, but a metal guitarist, and like the riffs that they play are definitely metal. At least, if not metal inspired pop licks.
I think of White Zombie, right? And I'm like, okay, that's more metal.
That's him too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think of White Zombie. I say,
but that guitarist carries through.
Yeah, that's more metal. But then you listen to Rob Zombie, and the style changes. Not night and day. It's subtle. So he's still covered. Like he'll re-release the White Zombie songs. He'll release songs that are very much in the feel of White Zombie. But then there's always the evolution of the musician. So he's like, fucking educated horses.
I'm not even gonna.
You know what I'm saying, dog?
Yeah, I'm not even going to front, like, I love Rob Zombie.
Oh, me too, man.
I think he's got fucking great music. I think a lot of people only know him for, like, 2 songs. Like, maybe, like, Living Dead Girl and Dragula. Yeah. But, like...
I don't like Living Dead Girl, if I'm going to be completely transparent.
Thunderkiss 65.
Yeah, see, I'm more of a fucking White Zombie fan.
I like, what is White Zombie? I feel like it's Rob Zombie, but, Numb?
I think that's Rob.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's all Rob, right? It's just the name change for marketing.
I guess technically White Zombie is still
isn't that why they changed the name? It was just marketing. It's like Sam Hain or Saween, however you want to properly say it, was changed to Danzig, and it was purely for marketing.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, isn't White Zombie a film?
Dude, this is a whole new side of us. We died, and now we're getting like fucking real in this ghost car. How do cars die?
Well, I would say the battery
was this created from the ectoplasm of another ghost? That's kind of gross. Can we do this? Do we have the power to fucking... Because if we can do this, I don't want to be alive anymore.
Well, maybe it's like Brutal Legend, where he just like takes parts of the landscape. So it's not necessarily that the car was once a ghost. Maybe it was once many ghosts.
Dude, if I could have a battle axe guitar, I'm never going to be like a living person again.
What's weird is that like there's plenty of musicians out there that could afford to have a battle axe as a guitar. And to my knowledge, none of them have done it because like axe, like axe is another name for a guitar. Only Gene Simmons has done it, and he's not a fucking guitarist. He's a fucking bassist. And that's his signature guitar.
So there was a guitar company, can't remember, made a literal, like, it wasn't a functional axe. It was a body of a guitar that looked like an axe. Danzig played it in a Sam Hain concert.
Okay.
And I saw one of those. I'm like, oh, I want to get one. So I was looking up prices. They're pretty cheap, but...
really?
But the reasoning they're pretty cheap is
they don't sound good.
Is because they fucking suck. But I just imagine, like, so let's say I paid like $600 for one of these, which to me is cheap for a guitar. Say I paid $600 for it, and I just fixed it up. Just put like quality parts on it. Put like... That's
generally the idea. For all those aspiring musicians out there or parents who are listening who want to buy their children music or musical instruments, buy a cheap guitar, because a lot of the time that doesn't matter. Like buy like $180 is what I spent for my last guitar, and then all you have to do is, if that child or if you continue to grow in that instrument, buy new hardware for it, buy new pickups. You can and have a guitar technician work on it. But that little extra money, you're going to get a quality guitar, and you really your entry price was so much lower than trying to buy like $1,000 Gibson, because you're like, like, if you're like us, if you're like me and Zach, we go fucking all in. If we get a new hobby, or if we return to an old hobby, we go all in. Like I probably spent like $1,000 on original Xbox games whenever I got real heavy back, and it's not good. Like over the course of several months, but like I spent more money than I should have on fucking 10-year-old, 15-year-old, 20-year-old video games.
Yeah. So when I was still alive, I in the land of the living. So let's take it back a little bit. I learned on a Johnson guitar, which like cheap ass guitars, like $40, $50 guitar, right? I got it given to me for free from a friend because it was a piece of shit. I actually learned to play on that and a Fender Bullet that was wired wrong, so arguably it was also a piece of shit. And then to bring it full circle, I gave my son a newer Johnson that was given to me, but then I took like Martin tuning heads and adjusted the neck, and basically the tuning heads alone are worth like 4 of those fucking guitars. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe more.
I mean, you can get really crazy. I mean,
but now it sounds good, and now he's got this like guitar that if he breaks it, it doesn't fucking matter. But it's good enough. Like,
is that a Martin or a Jackson?
That's a Johnson. It's a Johnson, but I put Martin tuning heads on it, so it's this cheap ass guitar that I've now made sound like. So effectively, I've taken a $50 guitar, made it sound like a $200 guitar. I would legitimately record with it. Like I played a show with it.
It's that black cherry sunburst. That's not a sunburst, but it's a black cherry burst.
My only regret is, even though it's a cheap guitar, I accidentally dropped it on the concrete up in St. Louis and scuffed it up. But now it's got some character.
Hey. Speaking of big regrets in our past lives, you know what one of my biggest regrets is between us? I think you know what it is.
Is it when you broke my dad's amp because you were riding it?
It's whenever I was so fucking wasted after a show. It was actually the worst show that we've ever played, in my opinion. It was at Foo Bar, which is fitting because that if anybody doesn't know, Foo Bar is an acronym for fucked up beyond all repair.
Listen, so we're going to give this one's for Foo Bar. For all the memories, it's rebranded. It's Red Flag now, but this is for Foo Bar. So,
tink.
We got more of this ghost beer in a podcast setup, and we managed to fit it all into this car. So
social.
this beer just it's like the endless cups in Asgard. They just fucking refill.
Yeah, it's like
when we're done with them. Like as we're emptying this 24 pack, we'll look and it's just full again. We're like,
it's magic, dude.
What the fucking fuck is because fucking shit? This fucking beer, man.
I think as beer is transformed into piss, then that's the beer dying.
Oh, so the beer has a soul too. You know what?
I mean, obviously.
I'm just beginning.
That's why they call them spirits, Zach.
I'm beginning to think that there's just this level of existence that we don't understand and can't understand. Right? There's this other dimension with rules that apply to our world, but we'll never understand because we can't tap into that dimension, right?
Yeah, Zach, I'm really glad that you've had like a big spiritual turnaround since episode 1 of the podcast.
I'll say it one more time, dude. I can admit when I'm wrong. We're a ghost. Okay, I'm stupid. You can, but hey,
I wasn't trying to be.
Hey, we haven't been eternally judged yet. So, am I really that stupid?
You know, I have been wondering about that. Do you think it's
just gonna make us fucking wait forever?
No,
because this is awesome.
Is this purgatory, or is this like, are all the religions wrong? Like, does everybody get to be ghosts? Are we special? Do we only get to be ghosts because we were murdered? Do we have like unfinished business?
Well, we haven't met a lot of other ghosts.
Is it Casper rules? You know what I mean? Like, where Casper and all the guys that live in that mansion are ghosts because they have unfinished business, and then once that business is solved, then they don't they I don't know. Do they move on? Is that how that story goes? I haven't seen Casper in forever. The only scene that I really remember is whenever they fucking feed him breakfast, and it's just a bunch of fucking junk food. But like when they eat it, it just like falls through them. Dude,
I used to watch Casper like every day on VHS because I loved that fucking movie.
It's a great film, dude.
But I rewatched it like
super sad. The dad dies. Spoilers.
Well, no, I rewatched it recently, right? So I think I might have watched it with my daughter. I don't fucking remember a thing about it. Like, so.
You don't remember?
I can't have this Casper conversation, bro. I'm gonna have to rewatch it again. I can tell you more about Matilda. You ever see Matilda? You know what dying is really like? You could tell like we're reminiscent of the living world. We're like, dude, let's get fucking real about like our taste in music, and like let's tell you about fucking guitars, and like we used to play shows and shit. Like, dude, I miss that, but you know what I also miss? Like I can just manifest my penis whatever size I want.
Yeah. That is pretty sick. Yeah, like when you thought like it was your tail, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like.
But the only problem is
I wasn't expecting it to be like wavy like that.
You have to train it, you know, because like when I tried to grab it that first time, I couldn't do it. But we kept trying, we kept persisting, and eventually, I got it, dude. Yeah. And you didn't like it, because I was trying too hard.
Well.
And because like. The frustration and like it was like a gorilla grip. You were like, ah! It was the point is that we've grown in our abilities as spiritual entities, and yeah,
dude. And our podcast is getting hits in the land of the living still.
Yeah,
like it's amazing. You know what?
You possess a piece of technology,
dude. What the fuck's his name?
Danny DeVito.
Mark Zuckerberg?
Oh, yeah.
Goddamn Mark Zuckerberg and whoever controls the other internets. Bro, like, being able to post on Facebook from the afterlife, like, no wonder you had to fucking testify.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about Mark Zuckerberg.
Did Mark Zuckerberg testify in front of Congress?
Yeah.
That explains a lot. There's fucking dead people posting shit on the internet. Like,
yeah.
They're probably the ones doing the voting fraud.
Well, again.
Can you mail in from them? Dude, we should try to mail something. Dude, what if there's not? What if it's not? What if it's not like a conspiracy? What if it's actually like asshole ghosts like us that are just mailing shit? Like, no, Donald Trump. Trump. He's my president.
Yeah. Well, that's because he's a former president.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna vote for Hillary Clinton. How do you think I got here?
That's crazy.
Shit.
Anyways, man, so we were at Foo Bar. Maybe formerly known as Foo Bar, Red Flag, formerly known as Foo Bar, but at the time it was Foo Bar. And I don't know if you have a different perspective on this, so I'll tell my version of events, and then you can tell your version of events.
Yeah.
So we played what I would consider one of our worst shows. Personally, just that's my personal opinion. I think people enjoyed it, but I also think that there was criticism after the show, specifically from a friend of ours whom I respect, whose opinion I respect, that said, a little bit of practice never hurt, and I took that to heart. And the next show, I feel like we practiced a lot and did a lot better, but I digress. We exited the stage at one point, and we jumped down into the crowd, but we were still using all these wired instruments and wired microphones. And I got a little shock, because sometimes when I sing and I'm all sloppy drunk, I like to kiss up on the microphone.
Yeah.
And the monitor speaker, or no, I'm sorry, not the monitor speakers. The speakers facing towards the crowd were like a foot behind me. And so like, I'm pretty sure I lost hearing at that show. So that's why personally it comes up as one of my worst shows for me. And I don't really remember the teardown. I don't remember most of like trying to leave the venue at that. I feel like we played the show and then we immediately like tore down the stage and tried to leave. And so I was borrowing Zach's dad's tube amp, super sweet amp, and it had wheels on it. And I was pushing it down the street, and not for some reason, I was drunk. And I was like, hey, wouldn't it be fun to just sit on this thing and kind of roll it down the street? And of course, being in like downtown St. Louis, the streets are all shitty and fucked up, and the fucking amp turned sideways, and I just put my ass through the back fucking board of the fucking amplifier and broke all the fucking tubes out. And Zach was mad at me, and I was mad at myself and embarrassed. And Zach's dad never fixed that amp.
Yeah,
he couldn't. It was irreversibly broken.
Well, he's done some repairs to it, but it's just not the same. Like, it's never going to probably be in working order like it was. Like, he's gotten some stuff back together with aftermarket parts, but
just the way
I think
he
just cut his losses and started buying different amps. Like, he just bought some new amps, and it's whatever. No, all that.
It's embarrassing.
All that except the.
It's my one big regret in life.
God.
At least between
fucking
us.
Ghost beer is giving me ghost acid reflux. Anyways, the only detail I'd change is fucking when you were rolling it, the reason it fell, the only reason you fell was because something caused a wheel to break off of it. And
I don't remember that. Cuz I was
if I had to guess, it was like just the casing was old. And the screw just wasn't holding into like the fucking is like they're like made of like fucking plywood, right?
Yeah, they're made of press board and
so I'm guessing like it was just old and that strain you just hit it right and that's what caused a wheel to cave in. But that's the whole reason it collapsed, because in inspecting it was just the one wheel that caused the whole
system to fail.
Incident. If it had been a new amp with new wheels, you probably could have done that in as much as you wanted.
Well, and I will also say that you were telling me not to. I was protesting. I was like, it'll be fine, Zach.
I don't remember a lot, so.
I don't either. Well, then that just speaks to how fucked up we were. We were very...
I mean, I got my tooth knocked out at a show, and then I had a dentist fix it. Anyways, whatever the fuck I was saying. It's good to reminisce, and we... As since it's spooky month,
dude.
We did a lot of spooky songs, dude. So what's your favorite Murphy and the Death Race song?
My favorite Murphy and the Death Race song, gosh, I really like Lost in Space. It's a great one. I go back to that one a lot. I really like Were Shark. I'm constantly going back to Were Shark just because of the composition of that piece, where it has that nice little, it's that surfer, what I don't even know what genre of music that is, but it's definitely like that surfer riff where the
yeah,
and it's just thrown right in the middle.
It's
of
a little surf riff, yeah,
or of that punk chord progression, and it just, I don't know, it just hits all those right spots for me where it's fun to play, it's fun to listen to, it's fun to sing along to. It's got enough repetition to be catchy, but it also has enough variation to not be boring. So Were Shark is probably a big one, and then Lost in Space is just a fun one to work on as far as like live working with the band, because it has a lot of different pieces that kind of function separately, but then make that song a nice layered, multi-layered piece that just has a lot of depth and value and richness. And I used to have a lot of fun doing Die Like Dillinger. Die Like Dillinger is one of those, like, that's what you cap the show with.
Yeah.
And
that's like the end of every show.
It's just got a good driving riff, and it's just punk all the way through, and then it has that sweet breakdown that kind of goes into that like bluesy fifth with the breakdown. It's hard to pick a favorite because they're all really good. But I also do find myself playing Vultures. Your rendition of Vultures a lot. I like that opening riff, and then when we're playing live, if we can hit that riff, because I like to let you do the opening riff to like set the like intro the song.
Yeah.
And then we all come in. It's got a really nice flavor. It's got a really nice fullness to it. And then at the end of the song, everybody's like kind of hyped up from the preceding events. And then if we can fucking execute that together, which we've done a couple times, and that just comes down to practice and that timing, but just the added richness to that riff at the end, again, adds that variation while still being familiar enough to the song that it doesn't change too much, but it just makes it better. And it's just a lot of fun to play. What's your favorite Murphy and the Death Ray song?
I like Killer Moth versus Mothman.
That's a good one too. I like all of our songs, so I'm a bit jaded.
So as the person that writes all the songs and has to live with them, like, yeah, I like them all because the only songs you hear are the ones that I like, right?
True.
Because you haven't heard the thousands that have hit the trash bin. You haven't heard the thousands that have been repurposed into the actual songs. And I actually write a song and I'll release it, and if I don't like it, you'll never hear it again, and I might go out of my way to wipe it from existence. So there's songs that have made it all the way to the press that I still don't like. So
I guess that's kind of the difference between us, because if I write anything, I send it to you.
Yeah, so to answer the question is like I think I like Killer Moth versus Mothman as of right now. In the spooky month of October, and talking about the band, I think that is that song makes me really happy, and yeah, I kind of lost my other point to that.
No, yeah,
I had another point, but
well, I was just gonna bring up the fact that you decided to name.
Oh, I don't think we're self-flating. I don't think to answer your question, I don't think it's we're not patting ourselves on the back too hard. We're just
talking about our personal.
Listen, man, when you're dead, you do things. You reminisce about all the good shit. Like, I don't have a guitar here, so I can't fucking.
Which might be a good thing, because. I don't know if you remember.
There's cars and beer here, so maybe there's fucking guitars too. I don't know.
True.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you picked Killer Moth versus Mothman as your favorite, because I would have assumed it would be Attack of the Super Sexy Naked Babes from Space, because that's what you decided to name the first album, or at least in concept.
That's just a good song, bro. That's just a good name too.
Well, and it has great B-movie horror vibes. Like that poster that
hey,
we
look,
had
man,
commissioned.
I wrote the song. I think it's a good song.
No,
I think it's a great. I think it's a great name. That's why I wrote the song.
I love the over-explanatory. No, that's not the right way to phrase it. I like the run-on, kind of like, what would be the opposite of concise? It's like Disney is really, really good at it now, where they'll just be like, Brave. And that's like the name of a movie. Or like, Frozen. It's just like an adjective.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, but what about The Day the Earth Stood Still? You know, what about The Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Yeah.
You know, what about
It's like Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Yeah, it's like there's something, not that Frozen and Brave and Tangled, not that those are bad titles, they just exemplify the concise sort of naming trend that you see, that we're like, just cut it down. What's one word that describes this movie? And it's like, oh yeah, okay. But there's something charming about just a really long title that kind of just not over explains, but fully explains the plot of the story.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like most movies do have short titles. The Thing, They Live, what else? What's that one? Them, Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely like it's The Blob. There seems to be a need to like really shorten it. The Exorcist, really shorten that movie title down, and that probably is a direct response to the naming conventions of like the early 50s and 60s, where they're just like give you the synopsis in the title, basically.
Oh yeah, you gotta give them a reason to pick up the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of Killer Moth versus Mothman, how did you enjoy Witch Hunt earlier today? We were playing some more spooky games today.
Yeah, I mean, it is a game. It's fun. I think let's see, I died a lot, but I think when we actually found like the monster, when we found the werewolf,
it was very exciting, right?
You can't fucking keep track of him though, man. Like, yeah, well, it's fun. Like, it's fun. Oh, you shoot him and he runs. Okay, great. Like, what was that? It was a 500 feet like radius.
Yeah.
And, okay, too big. Because holy fuck.
Yeah, but
he would run and he would just get lost.
He was so fast. But that was the interesting thing for me. I made comment of it. It was actually like a hunting simulator, but it was like a horror hunting simulator. Like, it was like Cabela's Big Hunt, but with fucking horrible mythical creatures.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe if the game, I don't know. The controls didn't do it for me. But that's also not my style of game. I feel like if you gave me that mod in Skyrim, we'd be all over it.
If it had
in fact, let's just play that mod in Skyrim.
If it had a better control scheme, would you be more interested in it?
Absolutely, because it's fun.
I had a lot of fun. It's actually probably
it's fun. I would say the only other thing is, like, I feel like the encounters were uneventful because, like, you have these lame ass zombies, you've got these annoying fucking zombie dogs, and their animations are hilarious, and they're fucking fast, and I don't know.
Well, they're fast sometimes. It's like you see them from a distance.
If you can hear the zombies when they're super fucking far away, you can give me better visual cues of, like, when they're attacking me. Like, they basically, you wouldn't know you were being fucking attacked until they were, like, right on you. Same with the dogs. Like, the dogs were moving so fast, it was like, they were on fast forward.
Because I like the game, I'll give it some slack, because I think that might have been because we use a headphone splitter. I don't know if there's a better workaround for that. You know what I mean? Like, with the headphone splitter, you obviously, for some reason, you're losing some level of quality to the audio.
And when we say we played Witch Hunt,
we lived it.
We lived it.
Yeah.
We went back to the what would you call that era? We went back.
Colonial.
We went back to the.
Definitely colonial.
This is like, what is it?
Early frontier America.
Yeah, colonial.
So if not colonial, then early frontier.
We went back in time. We went back in time.
Puritanical America.
And we fucked with the colonials. We fucked some colonials. And we fought some monsters. IRL. Yeah,
very fun.
Witch Hunt. I'm going to give my first impressions. It's going to get a C from me, bro.
Really?
How much did you pay for it is the question. That's the deal breaker. Like, what's this game go for? I got my phone back. So,
how'd you do that?
You know his name?
You just manifest it in like non-corporeal form?
No, it turns out that
Satan?
the Greeks were right.
Sisyphus?
There's a boatman.
Oh, Karen.
Yeah, and he's not a Karen, but Charon. Yeah, he gave me my phone back because I had
You gave him 2 copper coins?
No, dude, I gave him some of this respawning beer.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's worth gold in the afterlife, bro.
Yeah.
We're rich, actually, now that we're dead. Yeah, what was I looking up?
How much does Witch Hunt cost?
Witch Hunt price. You know what's fucked up? My fingers don't work well on this touchscreen.
Why? Because you got fucking fat thumbs?
Probably because I'm dead, but...
Fat fucking dead thumbs.
Witch Hunt.
I told you to steal a fucking a smaller hand, dude.
Like, let's see what it's like. Okay, so PS4, it comes in a double pack for $24.99. Oh, that's called Witch Hunter.
Yeah, you want Witch Hunt.
I know, I'm looking, bro.
Rhymes with...
Okay, Witch Hunt on Steam. There we go.
Yeah.
$9.99. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably what I paid for it.
It gets a C.
Still?
Yeah, still. Because that's what I figured the price. The price, I said, it's a $10 to $20 game in my head, and I think it's a C. And I think they can fix a lot of that. They could make Witch Hunt 2 and have everything fixed, and then I'll give it maybe a B or an A, you know?
Wow. I would give it a B.
There was nothing in the game, so it felt too much like there's these magical glowing fucking stones to save, right?
Yeah.
So you tell me you can't give me a fucking marker on a map, a magical marker on a map? How are you explaining your goddamn mana and your save stones other than you have angel blood? I'm gonna fucking go into it now, Brandon. You get a goddamn map. The map, you can mark the map. Where, like, do I gotta fucking get a compass separately? Is this fucking Minecraft now?
Maybe. To be fair, we only went to the trade shop once.
Doesn't matter. I'm fucking going hard. If you can magically save with a goddamn rock, like slap your dick on the rock with 50 mana or 20 mana or however the fucking much it was,
and
you're gonna tell me you can do the witch vision or whatever, the hunter vision where you see the beast that you're hunting.
Yep.
Okay. How about whenever you see that vision, it gives you a ping on the map. Just you have a 500 fucking feet radius. Why can't they just ping the map? You already have all this magic shit, unexplainable shit going on, and you're telling me I have angel blood, I can sense where the fucking beast is, and I can save on magical rocks. You can't give me a fucking map marker, and you can't give me a ping of the 500-foot radius that's impossible to find the fucking beast in the first place. You can't give me a ping on the goddamn map, or at least just give me a red arrow. You know, you got those fucking arrows in games point you where to go?
Yeah.
When you do the witch vision, give me a ping with an arrow. Say, go that way. How fucking hard would that be, Brendan? And I don't think it's unreasonable. I'm getting fucking heated. I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for those. There's quality of life improvements.
I hear you, and I appreciate your viewpoint. However, I think that it's by design.
Because
you're right.
Why the fuck we got to be in the colonial times though? We're fighting werewolves.
Well, I think
magic.
I think you're right. It would be very easy for the developer to implement those things because they seem very competent. Like the scares are scary. I think everything is as it's supposed to be in that game, and that's what I took it as. At face value. It's like in colonial times you wouldn't have a fucking head compass.
And I don't disagree. Like I think that's exactly why they did it. And all I'm saying is, in my opinion, which means nothing.
No.
In my opinion, which means nothing, I just think that was a bad move. It doesn't appeal to me. So that's, cracking another one for the boys.
Cracking another one for K-Ron.
Because we left their asses. We left them to fight that werewolf because it got away, man. We heard it pretty bad, but fuck that place.
Well,
that's scary.
Yeah, I mean, remember those fast ones that crawled around on the ground?
Yeah.
That scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
It's funny because you're the one who says you don't like horror movies, but I was way more fucking scared than you were.
Well, the dude kept trying to fucking sell us shit.
You're so brave.
Dude, the first scream was a genuine screamer. I went, ah!
I thought it was me because I was listening to...
oh, God, I think I just fucking peeked the mic, I think.
I was listening to you and just... I had a very feminine scream as well because we just thought it was like some chick.
Yeah.
We didn't know what the fuck was going on, and then she turned around real fast.
It legitimately surpired me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I was terrified. It was just a legitimate jump scare. I went, ah! Like, all the testosterone left my body in that moment.
Yeah.
And
that's why I like it.
I was no longer a tough guy.
It's a fun game, and it's like, you could definitely be killed by any enemy in that game, and we definitely did get killed by a lot of enemies in that game, or in that place.
Yeah, and look, maybe the game.
So that makes the big boss even scarier.
Maybe the game has that, like, it has that progression in it. Maybe as you play,
I think it does, because remember, like,
maybe
there's all
as you
those
play the
skills.
game, like, so basically you just you do your fucking hunts, you get your money, and then you buy your upgrades. Maybe the game becomes a lot more engaging. I would say
Probably.
I would say there's a better way to do it still. Just my opinion. Like,
I was fully engaged.
Look, man, I've got a lot of shit. I've got a lot of games to play.
True.
And not a lot of time to play. Like, I can't just sit down and play a game till I beat it. I have to.
Could be the mindset you were in too, because you were playing Blue Flame earlier. And then
that was Blue Fire,
and then before that you were playing Metroid.
Well,
so
I got
the games that you're playing are more modern and like they're different.
I don't know,
aesthetically and
I'm into a different style of game, period. But there's just better ways to games have to do something to keep me engaged. Like, I basically I can play a game, and if there's not if it's not great gameplay, fun story, if it's not I don't know, you got character design, level design, if there's not things that are hooking me into it.
Yeah.
For example, slow progression. I have a problem with Hades, and I love Hades. So let's fucking talk about Hades. You haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
But at times I feel like since you're trying to get as far as you can and you die, and then you basically get this form of currency to upgrade your character.
Yeah.
So every time you die, you should be able to get some kind of upgrade to get stronger, to go back and do better.
Yeah, because Hades is a roguelike.
Yes, but at that point, I do feel it's kind of turns into the World of Warcraft thing where it becomes less about skill and more about time invested. Because if I invest enough time, I can have all the best upgrades, and then it still requires a level of skill to beat, sure, but I need far less skill to beat it. So then I get to thinking, is it even a game? You get to thinking okay, if it's just about time investment and not necessarily about skill to beat the game, can you beat Hades in one run without dying ever? And it's I'd love to see a no damage run on Hades. I think it's impossible because it's just so easy. It turns into, it's like the bullet hell of Diablo. Because the game's very much, it looks like it's a top-down perspective like Diablo. A lot of it reminds me of, it's a hack and slash.
Yeah.
But it's a bullet hell at the same time. There's some times where there's just enemies fucking you from all directions.
Yeah.
And I love bullet hells. But so this is a roguelike. I do really like the game. I have gotten some badass upgrades, and I've had some killer fucking runs. I beat the second boss my second attempt at the second boss. It was I've only done 15 runs so far, so I don't know which run it was, but eventually I beat the first boss, immediately got to the second boss and died. The next run, got to the second boss, fucking killed him, made it all the way to the third boss, died horribly, and I've yet to be able to make it back to the third boss. But it's the dying and the progression that are keeping me going. So maybe it is good game design. Maybe I'm just nitpicking. Maybe I'm thinking too hard. Is this a game? Am I liking the game for the right reasons?
Well, I mean, that's subjective, but you can definitely identify good game design elements.
I guess I'm just being an asshole because it's a roguelike, so I should know what I'm getting myself into.
Well, the question you have to ask yourself to get outside of your subjective opinion is like, is it a competent game? Like, if you wanted to exemplify game design, would you recommend that game on that list?
Yeah, man. I mean, everything about the game is good.
So you know that the game has good game design. So you know that
It's good characters. There's good game design. There's good. I mean, everything controls fucking great.
Yeah.
The upgrades are fun.
You know that your nitpicks are subjective because it's like somebody may enjoy that experience.
Well, like I just said, like it's a fucking roguelike, so I'm just being an asshole now going like, oh, it's fucking...
Why can't I beat it in one run?
It's just a timed thing. Well, it's like, I don't even want to beat it in one run. It's just, it has a level of satisfaction like... So like Metroid, you die at a boss, you get to kind of just run right back in and fight the boss.
True.
I'm having this problem with Blue Fire as well. So in Hades, you fucking die at a boss, you got to replay the entire level to get to the boss. Not only that, if you die at the third boss, you have to replay the entire fucking game to get back to the third boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it gets tedious. And Blue Fire does a thing when you die at the fucking boss. Let's say I die and I get a game over. It'll start me back at my last fucking save, which will usually be like right when you entered like the temple. Yeah. So then you can traverse the temple fairly quickly, but still I showed you like the one boss took me a minute to get back to, and it's very fucking annoying if it takes you more than, 2 attempts. Like if you keep fucking dying at the boss, it's like, okay, I'll just run back through, and you're taking damage while you're going through there too, because you're like trying to get through fast.
Well, yeah, you did describe to me it being Souls-like in that manner, where at least in my experience with Souls games, up until Sekiro, like basically, if you died at the boss, you had to run through the whole fucking level again just to get to another attempt at the boss. Now Sekiro kind of learned from their mistakes, and I don't know if it's better game design. I think they both serve a function, they both serve a purpose, but it's definitely more satisfying for the player, because like say the Guardian Ape in Sekiro, one of my hardest bosses, because all the bosses are subjective. Like if you look up any boss fight for any of the Souls games, people are like, I can't believe you need a tutorial for this. Like, I beat this on my first try. And some people are like, I spent 2 weeks on this boss. Like, because it depends on your playstyle. It depends on, what you're speccing into, how you played the game thus far, yada, yada, yada. But Sekiro kind of learned from that, and they generally put you really fucking close. Like, if you die, you're right next to the fucking boss, and all you have to do is like run over to it and get it in. There are exceptions to that rule. I think mini bosses, they'll still let you walk like a full minute to get to the mini boss.
I just think it's so much better to be able to, like, I already made it to the boss. Yeah. Like, so Blue Fire just could have had a simple, there's a save thing when you walk into the temple. Yeah. So how about when you walk through the fucking boss door, they give you that, like. But it also has the game. It also has the Souls-like mechanic, and they did it in Hollow Knight. When you die, you have a little, like, you leave behind a little spirit thing to pick up, and it gives you back all your, like, we'll just say souls for this example. It gives you back your currency. So they do it in Hollow Knight. They do it in Dark Souls. They do it here. I really like the game. There's a lot of nitpicks about that game as well, but for the most part, it's just this really, like, unique, weird Zelda clone. It reminds me of a PlayStation 1 game. It reminds me of like an N64 game. Just like, it reminds me of Ocarina of Time and Ape Escape, the way the fucking the camera will pan and show you like a level in certain areas. It looks like how Ape Escape would intro their levels every time you got to a new stage.
Yeah. You know what?
We should fucking play Ape Escape on the channel, dude. That's a fucking
I haven't played that one.
It's a great game.
I was gonna say one of the games that has held up game design wise, for me, going back to like N64 era, was Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. Yeah. Like, just really fucking solid game design. A little bit too much on the tutorial stuff.
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say they're a little slow now, just in terms of like
too much of it is non-intuitive. Like you need to learn button combinations in order to perform the actions, like the moves that you need to progress through the level. Like you need to learn how to press Z and left C at the same time so you can do the bird walk.
Yeah.
And you need to learn that like and that's part of like the game progression too, is like in order, like you don't start with all your abilities. You have to go and talk to the tutorial guide, which is what's his name, Bottles.
Yeah. So I think
he teaches you those moves, and then all you have to do is do the button inputs.
You would get down with Blue Fire because it combines like everything you loved out of like, let's say, N64 platformers, because I think it reminds me a lot of like there's platforming sections, and of course they're like really nothing like the Mario platforming, because like you have like a double jump and a dash and shit in Blue Fire. But for example, like there's collectathon shit. Well, not really collectathon, because like a collectathon would imply like, well, no, maybe it is, because it is a lot of the shit that you'll get these side quests in the game, and they'll be like these items you have to find in an area.
Yeah.
So it turns into very like Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, where you're like looking for specific items and platforming around. And then there's platform challenges, and specifically just the platforming parts. It just reminds me of the 3D platformers. So we're talking like, anything, even like whatever they did on PlayStation, so you have like your Crash Bandicoots, Mario, Banjo-Kazooie. I'd say less Crash Bandicoot though, but maybe more like the weird platforming, like, because in Spyro when you did the platforming, you had to use his moves and kind of like jank it,
See, I would say it makes sense though for you to say that, because Crash Bandicoot is actually an example of like a pure platformer.
I would say it's like Crash Bandicoot in the fact that like some of the platforming is really hard in the camera perspective, and Crash Bandicoot makes the jumping from platform to platform hard.
But for you to say that is the furthest thing from it, it's like Mario and Banjo both have combat between their platforming, and it's like platforming is a part of the level progression, but you also need to do combat, and there are boss fights in both of those games that break up the monotony of the platforming, whereas Crash Bandicoot is more straightforward platforming.
There's still enemies to fight.
Yeah, but the combat is not, it has no depth at all.
I don't know. So
the combat is a stepping stone to the platform.
Here, I'm going to sell you on this game. So just take Dark.
I'm sold.
Take Dark Souls. Take Dark Souls. Take Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and then take like just bits and pieces from 3D platformers, and you've got a nice little indie game. And it's a $20 game, I think, and you can usually get it on sale. And it's got like 10 hours of just, if you play it straight through, and it turns into like a 15-hour game if you try to get everything. That's good fucking value, Because I'm already almost 6 hours in, and I don't even think I'm near halfway through the game, because I keep stopping and going like, oh, well, if I do this trick, I can get up the wall here, and I'm probably not supposed to be here. But it's like, oh wait, this is secret.
Yeah.
And,
I think that's why a lot of people really enjoyed Mario Odyssey, right? Because Mario Odyssey sort of has that like surface level, get the main objectives done, get the coins and stars and flags, moons, whatever that fucking game has. But then there is this other level that even Mario 64 had, where as a kid I never knew you could do like triple jumps and long jumps and like animation cancel, move stop, backflip.
Dude, so if you see someone who knows all the tricks, if you watch them play,
like Donkey,
it's super satisfying. Like I am subscribed to this dude. Basically, all he does is live stream fucking Mario 64, because it's like, first off, it's like one of his favorite games, but second, like he's really good at it. And whether he's doing it for speedrunning purposes or just training for speedrunning, or he's just showing tricks, like it's satisfying to watch. He'd be like, so I'm gonna do this, and like he'll just have these tricks where it's like an Ocarina of Time, where you can do these jumps and you can access things way easier or way sooner than you're supposed to.
Yeah, there's that really well-known one now. At least I think it's well-known because I know about it, but in Mario 64, where you can do like a glitch jump and get up the Bowser stairs easier.
Yeah.
instead of like, because there's that section where it's just infinite stairs.
Yeah.
But you can generate enough inertia and momentum to break through the loop.
So I have the All-Stars collection, so I have Mario 64 for the Switch now.
Yeah, does it play the same?
I really need to sit down and play it because I haven't had a chance. So it's got Sunshine, Galaxy, and 64.
Sunshine would be a great one to play. Like I look at that game.
The only game I've played out of that is Mario 64. So I've got a whole collection worth of like. That's hours of entertainment right there.
Yeah.
But to segue real quick, have you played Mario Odyssey?
No.
The game's fucking fantastic.
That's what I hear. I hear it's probably the quintessential Mario game.
It's honestly 3D Mario games don't really do it for me. Like I played 64 and I was like, oh, it's fun. It was nice.
That's funny because 64 is probably my favorite Mario game.
No.
What's the one that had the like the crystal caves and all that? Is that 2? No, that's got to be 3. Super Mario Brothers?
Super Mario World.
Super Mario World. That's
for
right.
The SNES.
Yeah, so the Super Mario World for the SNES is probably my favorite Mario game.
Yeah, so it's
my favorite 3D would have to be 64. That's only because
it's got to be if it's not if Mario 3 is not your favorite, then Super Mario World should be your favorite. You know what I'm saying? Like that's. Yeah. I do like Super Mario 2 though because it's so weird.
Well, I hear that it was originally supposed to be a different game.
It's a different game because the Lost Levels, Mario 2. So Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels is actually Mario 2 in Japan, but they thought it would be too difficult for America, so they reskinned Doki Doki Panic, and that's how we got the Super Mario 2 that we know.
Yeah, where you can like pull up the turnips and stuff.
It was not supposed to be a Mario game. Go and. To finish my thought, 64, I think it's a great game. I think I would have enjoyed it if I had it on the N64. I got my N64 secondhand when like the GameCube was out. But my brother gave me his N64 and his like collection of games, so I got some great games for it. I think I had Ocarina of Time for sure. I had like GoldenEye. I probably had like Perfect Dark. I don't remember all the games I had, but I remember Ocarina of Time was the first Zelda game I beat it. It's the first Zelda game I beat front to back. I didn't have Mario 64, so I don't have like the nostalgia for it. I played Mario 64 for the first time when I was probably like 20, and I was like, okay, yeah, it was fun. I was just thinking like, if I had this as a kid, if I had it as a kid, I probably would have fucking loved it. But that being said, 3D Marios don't really do it for me, and Mario Odyssey is fucking fantastic. Also, that being said, I admitted I have not played Sunshine or Galaxy, but like all the fucking like the 3D 2Ds, you know, the 3D models on a 2D plane. Yeah, those don't do it for me. I don't really like them.
I really liked the Wii U.
Yeah, I don't really like them.
Mario.
I don't. Yeah, they're not for
Mario
me.
World.
I'm trying to think of any other examples.
But that is a multiplayer game.
I guess I'm just solely basing this on Mario 64. Is I was like, yeah, 3D Marios don't really do it for me. But that's also probably why I never fucking had a desire to play fucking Galaxy. Yeah. Or Sunshine or Galaxy 2, but I played Mario Odyssey because it looked so great, and it was, and I think that's like,
you know what I will say,
as far as 3D Marios go, before I've even played them all, I'm gonna say that's the best.
I will say this: Super Mario Galaxy is to 3D Marios what Super Mario 2 is to 2D Marios. Like, it does not feel like a fucking Mario game at all.
Yeah.
And there's something to that where like it's good that Nintendo is taking risks.
Just think about that for a second though. You've got these properties and they're these 2D games.
Yeah.
And they work a certain way.
Yeah.
And then someone goes, "All right, we're going to make a 3D one." You go, "Fuck, how do I make this work?"
And they do it, man. They do great. So the only thing that I would say, I haven't played Sunshine. I've played Galaxy, and Galaxy's fun. It's not a game that I am like, and this is weird. I know you're probably not going to understand this because you rated it as a C, but I think Witch Hunt is one of those games that, like, when we were done playing it, I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I kind of want to go back and see what the next monster is.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go back and kill the Wolfman and fucking.
Shit, man.
But Galaxy was one of those games where while I was playing it, I was like, yeah, this is fun. Yeah, like this is like a time waster.
Yeah.
But like Witch Hunt is one of those games where I want to see what's next because it's so mysterious. It's like they don't explain anything to you. You know what I mean? Like they don't fucking like they don't follow up on anything.
So
they tell you something once and it's told in a canonical language. It's
fucking
like I can sense the beast when it's near because of the angel blood that I have. But then like gameplay, it's like it's in 500 feet.
Yeah, I don't have a problem when games drop you in, don't hold your hand, and you got to figure it out. I just think let's pretend that Witch Hunt controlled better.
That's probably the big thing. I think it's a mouse and keyboard game. And we're using a gamepad.
Maybe I did turn down the sensitivity because I don't like that fucking. It's like a hair trigger.
It felt good to me though.
Well, I turned it down because you need that slow turn with the controller. Like with a mouse, maybe you have more control of that.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that turn that shit up because they want to be able to completely 180,
turn around with a small mouse movement.
Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe that was an issue, but if it controlled better, because I don't know, you jump into Legend of Zelda, the first NES game, drops you in. No explanation. And
you just go.
Dark Souls drops you in.
No explanation. You just
go. Okay. So, I don't know. I think if they did that with the game, if the controls were more of like, I don't know.
I think that
I don't know how to convey my thoughts.
No,
to not sound like a stupid.
Let me try and then you can tell me if this is close. I think that if Witch Hunt had a more compelling reason to continue playing it, that it might be worth investing the time to discover the mechanics and
Give
the
me a
intricacies.
fucking dodge button. That's it. Maybe first person.
I like the clunkiness of it because it's like you can't even sidestep while running. Like if you sidestep while running,
couldn't I get a block?
It cancels the run.
Can I have a block?
Maybe. Well, that's the thing. It's like
do they have? Did we not know there was a because if there was a block button, that could be a game changer,
right?
Because then there's a level of strategy. Because I think again, we were taking a lot of damage, and it's if we fought monsters in real life, it'd be really fucking hard. But if we could how about if they attack us, you give us a chance to actually fucking defend ourselves? Because in real life, you're not just gonna go, fuck a werewolf. Ow.
Yeah,
but I'm dead.
But really, what's the consequences for dying?
I don't know, just being fucking annoyed.
Yeah. Which is a good fucking mechanic. It's I love Amnesia. I love the game series Amnesia. But you lose all of the fear because they when you die in that game, they put you right back right before where you died.
Yeah.
So it's you get the initial scare where you're afraid and you're like, oh shit, that fucking thing's gonna get me, and then it gets you and you're like, God, fuck. And then you're like, oh no, I'm just right outside the place where I was before I started this, so it's no big deal. And then that fear is gone, and then it's easier to do it. And it's Witch Hunt is we were fucking afraid because the game didn't tell us. We were afraid to go back to town.
But dude,
we're we have all this fucking gold, we have all this shit, we've made all this progress, and we could save and go back to town, but then we don't know if we'll fucking lose progress on the werewolf. I think that harkens back to the fucking early days of fucking video games, dude.
I guess
the only thing
limited moveset is maybe.
Do you know what Witch Hunt?
My critique as of this moment in the podcast,
based on our conversations recently, I think the best thing that for you to make Witch Hunt a better game is if it had a fucking game manual, like a full color fucking 36-page game manual that you could sit down and read, and it was written in esoteric fucking canonical text, and it talked about the game as if it was real life.
Maybe how about fucking let me build the character, because they throw us in and
a different game, man.
What? No,
you're talking about a different game.
No, but listen, you go in and you've got an inventory. Well, actually, you start the game and they talking about, oh, don't pull your weapons out in time. It's well, what fucking weapons do I have?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just saying a quick character thing. Let me choose a type of hunter, even. and
Yeah.
and then maybe it's like a quick build kind of thing. Like
I think that's a different game.
I don't know, man, because I think just the biggest issue is just lack of controls.
Well, and I think that boils down to our lack of experience with it. Like if we had more time with the game, then you might find it more enjoyable because we would unlock more aspects.
And again, the problem with those games is like they don't hook me, so I don't put the fucking time in.
Yeah, you don't get past the.
And it's
what would you call that? It's like that entry level amount of.
It's not a. Yeah. So there's. Yeah.
It's like you need to commit like 3 hours to this game before it gets good.
There's a lot of games like that.
Not
dude.
every fucking person is going to be able to fucking work through your shit to find the fucking magic that's underneath. Like Red Dead Redemption 2, I bought that fucking game when it came out.
Yeah.
And the fucking tutorial is an hour and a half to 2 hours long, depending on how fucking fast you can go through it. And I said I didn't even make it through the fucking tutorial, and I set it down because I was like, I'll play this later.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't engage you if it doesn't engage you. And if like you're fucking putting me on rails and making me play something that the game is not, then why would I be interested in your game?
Look, man, I'm going to stand by it. Witch Hunt, good concept. The execution just needs some work. And it's something that they could patch. Like everything that I've talked about can be added in.
Yeah.
Everything I talked about can be modded. And well, that's why I said Witch Hunt 2. Maybe they make the sequel and make it better, because there's got to be. I can't be the only fucking one preaching this bullshit.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Like,
I don't think that they
I'm not gonna waste my time on it, but I think if we went and read like reviews of the game, I think, of course, we're gonna have people saying that so it's good for what it is.
I was gonna say, I think the reviews are mostly positive.
But I think there's gonna be. I don't think they're gonna be negative, but I think it's like.
The criticisms are going to be similar to what.
Look, I'm trying to give them positive criticism. I didn't say the game sucks.
No, yeah, absolutely, no. That's why I wanted to talk about why you felt the way you did. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think you're way more excited about it than I am, because mine would get.
It sucked me in. It did. I got hooked.
I couldn't recommend it. Let's say I wouldn't recommend it. Just put it that way.
Well, Metroid Dread, like if based on like the first 4 episodes that we did, I could recommend Metroid Dread.
Metroid's not for everybody, man. But Metroidvanias have become so big. Like you've got Ori and you've got Hollow Knight.
Well, Ori is. I think that's an exception to the Metroidvania. I think people lump it in with the Metroidvania. I
disagree with you 100%. Ori. I've played both games, and it is exactly Metroid Dread. The only difference is the Emmy shit in Metroid. They put that on rails, and they make you fucking run through it, and then it becomes Super Meat Boy, or it becomes one of those games where you have to. It becomes a action platformer where you're trying to run through it seamlessly, or else you will fucking die. And
I think
that's the only difference, because. It is 100%. You get weapon upgrades. It's a Metroidvania and exploring the map. It's the puzzle of a Metroidvania. And the only difference is they have that, they put an on-rail platform thing where you're running from a boss, usually before a fucking boss fight.
Yeah.
I think Ori is one of those Metroidvania games done right. And I'm going to crucify Hollow Knight right now, because it's too hard for me. I really like the aesthetic of Hollow Knight, but it's so hard. Ori is super hard too, but it's a difficulty I can master. And Hollow Knight is literally Dark Souls with bugs.
Yeah, well, I will concede to you that it is probably the same issue that you're having with Witch Hunt, where the amount of Ori that I've seen is not enough to get me invested.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 2 games deep, dude. It's fucking worth it.
Yeah, so maybe if I can work past
the first time I played Ori, I was not graphically impressed.
On a surface level, it seems more like a puzzle platformer. Graphically, I love it though. That's crazy.
When I first saw it, I was not graphically impressed, and the start of the game was so slow. I didn't even make it an hour into the game, but I was playing at a friend's house and was kind of like, well, we could be doing other things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so I got it on fucking Game Pass of all places. So, I was like, all right, well, there's 2 games now, and everyone's like, it's like, oh, it's a really good Metroidvania. I'm like, that game looked nothing like a fucking Metroidvania to me. Yeah. And then you actually play it. You got to get past that beginning, and it's just it's a fucking masterpiece. And then Ori 2, full disclosure, still not beat the game. but I'm pretty fucking far into the game.
Isn't there a third one out already?
No, but I have not beat the game. I'm pretty far into the game, but the only reason I haven't beat it is because I let my Game Pass run out. It is not because I'm a fake gamer. It is not because I get on the podcast and make myself sound cool.
It's not because whenever I go to look up Ori in the Blind Forest, I look up Oral in the Blind Forest.
You almost took it home there, brother. It was right there. It's like Oral in the Blind Florist. That's it. Oral in the blind Oral for the blind florist. This flower's lovely, and that head you're giving's pretty good too.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Fucking shit.
I think we did it. I think we got enough for a podcast. Because I gotta go do some ghost shit. I gotta go fucking get my fucking ghost dick sucked.
Yeah, dude, me too, man. I got some ghost titties to fuck.
I've never been able to fucking do the. I don't know how long it's been since I've had a ghost ejaculation from ghost head or a ghost tit job.
Dude,
it's gotta be vaginal.
Real talk. Have you tasted your own ectoplasm?
Yeah, like maybe like once whenever I was like a young ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. I've gotten it in the eye, which is a fun fact. Maybe you people in the comments, like, comment, subscribe. If you've ever looked down at the wrong time when some ectoplasm was shooting, and like you got it in the eyeball. Ghost ectoplasm doesn't hurt the eyes. You can.
Fuck, dude. Speaking of which, if you made it this far into the podcast, drop us a comment. Or send us a message and get our secret ectoplasm cupcake recipe, and it's definitely not our ghost jizz. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.
Yeah, just do it. Just fucking suck on it.